Hello everyone. Today I wanted to do a video response to Marion V. You asked a very good question, and I feel like I ended the last video without detail. So thank you for asking. I do want to go into a little more detail about hexing and cursing. It is a very involved subject, and it deserves a little more time to discuss. As a professional worker, I take on clients almost every day, so I have to be very specific about how I handle situations, because you don't know why someone is coming to you. I always do a divination for my own workings because we want to reach out to our spirits. Our spirits have our back, and they have a wider perspective than we do, so we trust and rely on their wisdom, and that's why divination is so important. Everyone has a tool, be it tarot cards, chomolongos, cowrie shells, I Ching, whatever it is, whatever your tool is to communicate with spirit. I suggest that you do that before doing any negative working or any positive working. Once again, negative workings and positive workings have consequences, and consequences that you don't always foresee. So we reach out to our spirits so that they can inform us of the landscape. They have a wider perspective than we do. So I suggest, but also I strongly suggest that you do a divination before you do any negative workings. Another little, I don't want to say it's a trick because I feel like most workers are aware of this. I do a cleansing, a spiritual cleansing, and uncrossing bath before I do negative workings and after. To piggyback off of the last video, you're going to get your hands dirty, and I mean that as a metaphor. You're going to get your spirit a little bit dirty because you are the conduit in which the power comes through. Your ancestors reside in your blood, and thus they work through you. And if you're channeling or you're asking negative things of your ancestors, it is important that you be justified in the work, because that's how they're going to work on your behalf. In the previous video, we talked about what justification means. But once again, you want to rely on their wisdom, on their perspective, on their guidance and their insight. So a cleansing bath before and after you do negative workings, protection against anything that could, I call it the shrapnel of negative workings, especially, and a little tip that I want to give people, I wouldn't suggest that you do cursing or hexing with anyone that you live with or anyone that you work side by side with. The reason why is because when it hits them, if you're shoulder for shoulder with them, you're going to get hit too. It's important that you do protection and that you do uncrossing so that you can avoid any of those potential negative consequences. Some things that I prepare for when I do negative workings, I have been down for a day. I have been drained energetically for a day after doing it. And if you really feel justified in your work, that's one of the consequences that you're going to accept. You might have a higher temper than you usually would. You may be a little easier to trigger. They're just things that affect your equilibrium. Once again, there's always a balance. And if you throw the balance off even a little bit, that's going to affect you immediately. I always go to my ancestor altar before I do any work because I'm asking them to come through me, to work through me. I give them thanks and veneration for everything that they've already done before I ask them for more. This is another layer of protection. Before you do this work, you want to make sure that you're nice and guarded against any negative spirits or thoughts or people, especially if you are around a lot of other workers. There are dynamics that you want to protect yourself against. So I suggest doing a cleansing bath, and I suggest doing protection work. Some other consequences that you could think about or should think about before you do this work. People like to jump to hexing and cursing. Sometimes the problem is you. Sometimes you need an attitude adjustment. Sometimes you need to change your own perspective. Before you do a hexing or cursing, I suggest that you do some serious internal, take stock of what's going on with you. If you are being overly sensitive, if you are trying to project your own negative thoughts onto someone else or a situation, maybe you need to be doing blockbusting, uncrossing, or road opening. Maybe you don't need to be doing cursing. And I suggest that you go that route first. Go the uncrossing route. Go the road opening route and the blockbusting route before you want to reach out to the people around you, because there's a huge chance of projecting onto other people. They did me wrong, so I'm going to curse them. Well, what did you do to them? These are things that you need to be very aware of. So I hope that answers your question, Marion V. And this is the first response video I'm doing, so it feels good. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Go ahead and subscribe to the page, and there's a little notification button on this video, so go ahead and hit that if you want to see further videos. Until next time, guys, this has been Sin Elias with Crescent City Conjure, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.